like to invite the Minister of Science, Education and Youth, Government of Croatia, Radovan Fuchs, to join me on the stage, and we're going to discuss youth empowerment and education reform, exploring new pathways for Croatia's digital future. Welcome, Minister. Have a seat. Okay, and we're just going to have a bit of a conversation now about your plans, your ministry's plans. So just maybe you can explain to the audience, first of all, what education reforms the government is undertaking, what outcomes you are trying to achieve.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Yes, to be quick, because we have only 10 minutes, something like that.
Yes, only 10 minutes.
Well, last, I would say 6 years approximately, we started a substantial, very big reforms into the whole education system in Croatia, starting from the kindergartens up to the higher education. And this is probably the biggest investment into the infrastructure, as well as to the different kind of reforms on all the levels of education. So our plan, and I'm absolutely sure that we are going to achieve that, is that every child in Croatia has a place in a kindergarten. And this is going to happen on 2030. Because we think that kindergartens are extremely important for the socialization and development of different kind of skills of very small children, preparing them on a much better way for starting the primary school. This includes also the preschool program, which is created practically with the amount of hours, about 750 hours, which is almost like a small school, so that the kids come much better prepared according to their way of thinking, with mental abilities. You know that these mobile phones has a quite negative impact on different things like manual ability of the kids. They are just playing with screens, and they do not play so much with bricks or something like that, which is one of the problems, as well on speaking, because they are listening that from the mobile phones and not talking so much with the parents, and so on, in a critical phase of their development, where the languages are practically developing by those kids in a way that they do not accept the mother tongue in a way that they should, and then you have to correct that later on, especially in the first and second grade of the primary school. So that's one point. The second point is that we are right now into the investment in the schools, primary schools in Croatia, with the goal that all schools in Croatia operate in one shift. Because we have some schools, especially in the big cities, which are operating in 2 shifts, you know, a morning and afternoon shift. And when we complete that all the schools work in one shift, then we can imply our experimental program that we are running now for the second year. And this is, we call it the whole day school, which doesn't mean that the kids will be in a school mandatory until, I don't know, 6 hours, 6 o'clock in the evening, but the structure of this new reformed working and curricula of the schools are in a way that the schools are obligatory until 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, to 2:30, something like that. In the first part, the teachers are teaching this, what is on a program that day. Then they have a big break, and after that the teachers are checking up what the kids have been, what they understood and what they accepted, and help them to refresh that what was taught in the morning, and there is no schoolwork, this will be finished in a school. After the lunch, the second part is program that is the kids and the parents can choose, but the structured program with a different kind of activities, teaching and practicing according to the wishes of the children, with a big manual of those kind of subjects. And after 5 o'clock, the school is open also for the community and sport activities and things like that. This will relax the whole present curricula. It will give the teachers and the kids much more time to accept all the subjects and curricula which is on the table.
So yeah, just on the curriculum, it sounds like actually there's been quite significant changes in the curriculum, and just to add on to that, to what extent is the curriculum changing to take account of the kind of what we've just talked about in the previous panel, the kind of digital AI tech?
The way of teaching has been changed, but the subject, the general curricula, remains according to that what was teaching in
yes.
First or second or fifth grade, but the way of teaching is changing quite a lot, because now what we have is a problem. The amount of subjects which is taught is very much dense, and the teachers do not have enough time also not just to teach, but also to check up what the kids have accepted and understood. And then this way we think this would be much better. Okay, we come to the secondary school. We are trying to force more kids to enroll into the gymnasium programs, but so far we are not too successful on that, because in Croatia we have one very peculiar situation that from all the kids which finished primary school and have to enroll into the secondary, 70% are choosing vocational education and only 30% gymnasium. This we want to change slightly to increase enrollment into the gymnasium, because practically all those ones which are in gymnasium will and are continuing into the universities or higher education. But we have the possibility also for all those which are in vocational education to pass the state exam and also enroll into the higher education. But the vocational education is structured more on skills and a little bit less on general subjects, and then some of those students later on have a little bit of problem, and this is something why we force a little bit more enrollment into the gymnasium. But vocational education from this year, is the first year, is also running according to the completely new reformed program. The focus is on modular teaching and a strong cooperation between the companies and everyday work, that the students are, majority of their education and practice is in the companies, are there where they will work in the future. And for that we also have a special programs for those ones in the companies which will take care and be mentors of those kids which have a practice in the companies. Besides that, of course, the big equipping of the vocational education schools is already done, but it will be even more in the future. What we have done here is we created 26 centers of competence, highly equipped, where also the other vocational schools can pass a part of the practice in those centers, for example.
Great.
Higher education, okay, universities and institutes. This is the first time that we concluded performance agreements with the institutes and the universities, which is changing completely financing of those institutions. The institutes are already running according to that for last 2 years. And the universities, just recently, the biggest one, the Zagreb University, has signed a couple of weeks ago their performance agreement, where they have signed the agreement for next period of 4 years, and they know exactly how much money they have, how many people they can employ, they can form their strategies and their development, and for that the universities have 3.3 billion euros for next 4 years, and the research institutes about half a billion, about 500 millions. And according to the experience with the research institutes, they are more than a positive, and I'm expecting also that this is something to happen with the universities. Now they have not just the autonomy but also the responsibility, because they have to deliver that what they have been signed. The negotiation took quite a long, more than a year. Okay, so fast as possible. Okay.
Yeah, well, thanks very much. Yeah, we're out of time, out of our 10 minutes, but it's good to hear, how that reform is occurring at every level of the education system. So I suppose a final question, because we've got one final session before our lunch, is, are you worried at all that, this kind of big changes and shifts that we're seeing? So, for example, there's 70% choosing to go into technical education rather than the gymnasium. And also the kind of shift towards, I suppose, the whole emphasis now on the digital AI tech revolution. Are you worried that this might kind of have a negative impact or change the kind of core role and function of education, which I guess it's always worth reminding ourselves what you see as the core role and function of education, and whether that's changed in this new era that we're entering of AI, digitization and tech, or is it still actually the core role is still as relevant now or even more important in this age? Which for me is, teaching people how to think. That is, and to question everything and so on, and that means that the kind of classical, education subjects are still really actually very important. So I don't know. So does it worry you at all that
Yes, absolutely, because when we think back in maybe 10 or 15 years ago, nobody was practically, there was a talk about the AI, but this development of this segment is so quick that we even, I think, cannot foresee what will happen in 2 years or 3 years. Yes, I'm so happy that we started to talk about that a couple of years ago. And I just came from one OECD meeting in Bratislava, where practically we were very good in implementing AI into the education system. Some 3 years ago, I was speaking with our agency it's called CARNET, Croatian Academic and Research Network, the agency under responsibility of Ministry of Science and Education and Youth, where we discussed once that we have to start doing something, how and on which way we could prepare for implementation and way of thinking and teaching of the teachers in the future, taking in consideration the AI technology and possibility. because new teachers, we need to be not afraid of technology, but to be able to use it, but to use it on a most appropriate way. So they started a project which is called BRAIN.
We have to kind of wind up, sorry, just very briefly if you can.
Okay, very briefly. 250 schools, 600 teachers, special program to use the AI. Kids from the 5th to 8th grade primary school, from 1st to the 2nd grade of the secondary school. We don't teach them how to program, but how to use the information from the AI, developing also the so-called personal assistant for teaching, and the teachers and the teaching ability that the kids can use it, but the teachers, and not necessarily the computer teachers, but all kind of teachers are undergoing special education program how and to use it and how to teach all over the country. So after a year or two, probably we are going to introduce it in all the schools. We don't have a problem with hardware infrastructure. This is something what we did luckily from 2019. All the schools in Croatia, regardless big cities or villages, are equipped with wireless internet, connected to the general network maintained by Carnet. We take care about the security and many different things, but I will not be able to tell this in
Unfortunately
2 minutes.
not, yeah. But thank you very much indeed. I think we learned a lot anyway about what's been happening in recent years and what to expect in coming years. So thank you very much indeed, Minister. Thank you.